Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 20th of April. So in a day that there's no fundamental news out from any significant fundamental news out, let's just run through where we're sitting on these markets, starting off with the euro dollar, which is starting to coil up somewhat. We've got the on this daily, I say started, has continued to coil up. Looking on the lower time frames, there was a starting look maybe on Friday that it's ready for a run back up. We'll see. It's got the weekly pivot above, may draw it. Just looking at post 8 o'clock, if it gets back above this daily pivot, may be on for a move back at least towards Friday's highs there, and maybe more up into the R1. We'll see how that runs, but it does look a little bit more potentially promising there. He says, got to be careful when you say potentially anything these days, but there we are. So that's the angle I'm seeing at the moment. The pound slipped off towards the end of the week, bounced. Well, Friday just managed a little positive day. Again, we've got the same sort of picture of a weekly pivot above. It could just be could have been just curling around. So this chart here's got almost too much data in there. You can't see the picture here, but it double bottomed sort of towards the end of the week there. It started picking up. It's softish at the moment. Maybe we'll see if it's softer than the euro, but again has the same sort of potential above in terms of Friday's highs, the weekly pivot, and then the R1 above it, but needs to. It seems a little bit more slacking here at this stage. We'll see how it rolls this morning. If it continues to roll over, well, we'll be looking towards last week's lows in that case. Okay, that's the pound, dollar, yen. So again, made back some gains on Friday, the yen against the dollar here, but the dollar's pushing up again as I speak. Maybe back a bit further. Just looking, it's very tightly. Again, another one of these markets. There's a real sort of uncertainty where any of these markets are going to be running for at the moment. There's no real clarity. There are, higher lows through here on this 4-hourly basis. We could see a continuation of that on the flip side. That's been already through its weekly pivot, its daily pivot, almost up to its S1 60-minute 200, just above there. May pitch up a little bit further. We'll see. If it starts selling off, well, maybe at some point it will return back towards its lows there. But at the moment, it's in the price action fickle. It has got divergence at the tops here, so maybe we'll see it soften somewhat. Continuation wise, if it does push through that 200, well, back to prior highs there. They really need to come back out there. I'm just sort of looking. It's actually, I'll just notice also into its 4-hourly 50, so it may be, and that's the first test of that. Maybe this is a stalling point for it. Say just short of the 60-minute 200, may just pitch into that, but it'll be interesting to see where it runs from here. With the other markets looking marginally bullish, well, this may just roll. But okay, Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar wise, still the bigger picture here is higher lows, and you're just sort of looking at, are we going to into the weekly pivot at the moment? Are we going to see a sort of a continuation through this? It may be a trigger if it breaks those highs that's there, but again, look at this, how tight this market is becoming in terms of range, and it's just a case of which way gives the stimulus, of either upside or downside. It really is lacking clarity. It's lower highs, higher lows, and it is just tightening up here. Classic waiting for a big move at some point in these markets by the looks of things. Canadian dollar. Okay, softening a little bit this morning. Again, oil prices off. I'll talk about that in a moment. But Canadian dollar giving back this morning. There is a gap below there. We really need to see oil prices turn here to encourage any sort of further strength in the Canadian dollar and move back down, should I say. Bear in mind it's the US dollar stroke Canadian dollar. So we'll see how this develops at the moment. Well, let's have a look at oil. As I mentioned, oil. Now, I got stopped. I had a position last week into oil. I've got stopped on that. This is now made the lows since last time it got down to this sort of level was back in 1999. So quite a while since it's back to this sort of level. I'll still have a bullish sort of outlook for the bigger time frame, because I just cannot see how oil can stay at this sort of price. It may be that I re-enter this morning. As I say, I got stopped on my trade that I took in last week, but didn't want to put too much of a stop on it, and then sort of it drops like it has. It's funny, someone said $15. It may still have a bit more edge to the downside, but I'm looking at that closely and looking to get back in. There is a long reason why I'm sort of bullish on the longer term frame, and it doesn't take a rocket science to realise that with the cost of production so high that producers can't keep on, well, they can keep on producing it, but they will stop production at some point. And if and when the world gets back to normality, at least burning oil, etc., we'll see this turn around anyway. But for now, it's riding back down to that $15 area. It may have more to go. I'm looking at it keen to maybe re-enter. So on the long side, that's pretty much that. S&Ps, a quick look at the S&Ps. Inside at the moment. Friday was a bit of a nowhere day. That gap never got filled on Friday by the looks of it. It may well come down this morning, back down towards its weekly pivot. But yeah, it did get filled on Friday. I thought it might have done, but there we are. It might just come back down to that weekly. The bigger picture, I have my concerns about the S&Ps, but that's another for another day. But for now, well, that daily pivot may just draw things down back to a double bottomish area here at least. Okay, that's pretty much it. As I said at the beginning, there's no sort of impact type news in terms of fundamentals today, so I wish you a great day. Bye for now.